know that in America, democracy is hypocrisy. Now, if I'm wrong, put me in jail.
And this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
Welcome in, folks. Go ahead and close the door behind you on your way inside and have a seat. It's time to review this episode's Culture Report. Yes, your one-stop think tank serving as an informative safe haven focused on the prime benefit of Black people. I'm your gracious host, HT, and right beside me is my brother at arms, ID. How are you, brother?
I'm doing good today, man. How you doing?
Black in America, man. Black in America.
I say date like a man.
Okay.
If you're a really highly successful woman who's doing very well financially, men don't date with those standards. Yeah. You date with who makes you happy.
What if she can't get over that? She's like, I want somebody on my level.
Good luck. Have at it. Go for what you want. But I'm just letting you know that your pool of men that are making the kind of money you're making is so slim to none. And then those men don't want you. Women don't like when I talk about this.
Speak the truth, Rebecca. Why were you here?
There's a difference between being pretty and being gorgeous. Oof. You know, a lot of women will be like, I'm pretty. I don't understand. I'm pretty. Like, yeah, you're pretty, and you're pretty with your clothes on.
Yeah.
But there's women who are drop dead gorgeous, butt naked.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother level.
Like the difference.
Then what's your issue with him?
He's not business minded like my father and my uncle. And
then why did you choose to make a baby with him before you got married?
Young and dumb. I was 16.
Exactly, and that cost. See? Yeah. That young and dumb shit, let me stop you right here. That young and dumb shit you Black women throw out as if it's supposed to get... Listen and listen well, women. Young and dumb is not a get out of jail free card. It doesn't go woof and change the fact. You still have to carry that consequence. And men are not rushing up to be stepfathers to 13-year-olds. What would be better is if you honestly sat down and asked yourself, what value can I bring to a man?
Well, without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Let's begin. So, folks, if you've been living under a rock when it comes to YouTube and content creators, YouTube sensation Kevin Samuels, he's really been nothing short of a growing star in the YouTube space over the last several months, ever since really a clip of one of his videos got placed on World Star Hip Hop on December 3rd, 2020. And that video was considered to be called average at best. And it's this video clip of him telling this stubborn female on there that she's going to eventually die alone since, again, she's being stubborn. But anyway, Kevin, he's been on YouTube for some time, though, and he's gained some traction over time with his fashion recommendations, fragrance suggestions, and overall relationship advice, namely for women seeking what he calls high value men. So with that being said, Kevin's not only the talk of the town, but he's gained notoriety with hundreds of thousands of subscribers and millions of views, really just at the snap of a finger. So ID, brother, this is what I think we need to do to start this off. Do you think that the overall message that Kevin Samuels communicates about relationship dynamics is acceptable in our society?
Not only do I think it's acceptable, I think it's necessary. To me, you couldn't have these conversations that he's having on his YouTube channel. And shout out to Kevin, man. I've been watching him for about 8 months. And I was like, wow, this guy is saying the things that a lot of men want to say that they can't say because of backlash, because of toxic masculinity. And then also it's the way he presents what he's saying. It's not a very off the cuff, not where he's not thinking about what he's saying. Everything's well thought out, well put together. Right. I think that goes back to his background in chemical engineering and also business sales. But he is the voice to me of Black men in America, Western men. I think we all have a common bond where we all want to get married and have one woman and settle down and have fun and have some peace. But a lot of us can't get that because of financial issues, because of certain things, because of whatever, height, weight, whatever. And once men work, we know we have to work on ourselves to get certain things. We can't have any double whammies. We have to be tall. We have to be great in bed. We have to have, the financial things. If not, nobody's going to look at us. No woman that we want is going to talk to us. But on the flip side of that, I think the women have been have a little disillusion about that as well because of some of the media that they digest, some of the music they listen to, and Kevin makes it straight and plain. And in the last 6 to 8 months that I've been watching him, it's been amazing to see him actually take off. So like I said, going back to your question, I think it's totally necessary to have these conversations. Now, do I always agree with how he delivers this thing? Yeah, I agree with it. Some people don't. But I think it's necessary. And it's also great to start that conversation. And it's great to see him starting to go outside of YouTube to have these conversations. What do you think, HT?
Well, I think what you said was very paramount in that it's necessary over being acceptable. Whether his messaging is acceptable or not, I was just sitting here thinking as I was listening to you, I think a better question that should be asked is, does what this person tell me work? Regardless of how he looks to you as a listener and viewer, however he dresses, how he communicates and so forth, does what this person tell me work? Now, yes, overall, there needs to be a level of respect that's communicated and conveyed, which I think he does. I think he does very well, in fact. At the same time, is this person giving me the advice, rather, that the results are going to bear fruit? Is the ultimate thing, because maybe hearing what you heard for some time from other folks to make you feel good, which helps you indulge as maybe say the modern female, maybe that hasn't been working. Come to think of it, there was an article I saw not long ago on marketplace.org, and this was an article that was written in October 2020. It said that 70% of black women are unmarried. Now that's pretty telling and sad, considering most every modern woman, they dream of being married and being taken care of. So what you said in your statement made me think of this question here. So ID, with all of the feminism, the Me Too, the coddling and overall status quo rhetoric that demands men to worship the modern day woman archetype and women in general, why is it that the message of Kevin Samuels, why is it that his message has been communicating on his channel? Why has that message grown in his favor and also in the favor of other people? Why do you think that's so?
Well, the biggest thing is not to get too deep. And like I said, we love our women over here. Shout out to you guys. Anything we're saying is from the heart. So let's be clear with that first.
Absolutely.
The biggest thing is I think a lot of modern Western women nowadays have been fed a lie. To not trust men, to get your money up, or that even men want a power couple, per se, where if you want a man with power, that you have to have the same thing. So if you want a guy with a Mercedes Benz, then you need to have one too. If you have money, if you want a guy with money, then you need to have it too.
Multiply. Rich man, 8 figures, that's my type. Ain't that right, ladies? Because I know that's right. Hello, students. Welcome to my first session on how to bag not a 6, not a 7, but an 8-figure man. If he's not a boss, I don't want him. And if y'all are like me, these next steps will change your life.
It's that the secret kind of thing, and I think, ever since, back in the 80s, where you had certain movies that would depict black men as these women beaters and they're going to hurt you. It stuck in the back of these women's mind now that are 45 and under. And they're like, no, I don't want to deal with that. I saw certain things that my mom went through or certain things that my grandmother told me about. I don't want to do it. So, and also they're not used to hearing a black man in a authoritative role.
Correct.
To hear a man tell a black woman no, that she can't get what she wants, that she's going to die if she doesn't change what she's going to do, that's almost, taboo nowadays. And
Yeah.
Kevin has basically brought that to the table. And I think no other man right now on the YouTube space, on the online space, can do that but him. He is a part of that 10% that normally they don't talk about these things in public. To me, like I said, in the proof's in the pudding. In the last 30 days, he's had over 18 million views on his YouTube page.
Wow.
You can't go to any space without any woman of color talking about Kevin Samuels, good or bad. And I think what he did almost worked, whereas people saw him in a small vacuum as far as the 7-minute video that went viral on worldstar.com. But then when they came over to the channel, they would also see the full version of that video, and it changed people's perception of him and made them watch more videos. And to me, I think his message is great. Sometimes the delivery has to be hard. Sometimes you don't go to the doctor and they say, well, you might want to get this cancer removed if you feel okay with it. No, they're going to say, hey, we got to do it right now. We got to get rid of this cancer. So it's the same thing with a lot of women. Hey, man, if you don't change your ways, you will die alone. And I'm going to speak personal about it. My godmother died alone. She had everything, the cars, house, everything. And she died in a hospital by herself because she waited too long. When she was 45, then she wanted a man. But by that time, the men that she wanted, they could get a 20-year-old, 30-year-old, or they already had somebody. So, to me, I'll flip the same thing to you. What do you think about, his effect, and where do you see it going in the next year or so, in your opinion?
Well, I would like to indeed agree with everything that you've said. There definitely needs to be a shift in the relationship power dynamics, because at the trajectory that modern day society is going, if that shift more toward a solidified union between, couples aren't not only happening but lasting, there's obviously an issue there. If that's what is desired. So you need to listen to whoever's willing to speak out of love and, again, wisdom for the benefit of what it is that you seek in such a union. So yeah, you might not like the delivery, and I think what you said is right. You don't go to the doctor for them to mollycoddle your ears about how to say that you have an ailment, or how you say that you need to diet more, exercise more, or whatever the case may be. You don't go for the delivery, you go for the actual information. Now, of course, there's, again, like I said earlier, polite, respect factor, but overall, you're not going to get, your feelings soothed per se. So, otherwise, in a year or two, things are just going to continue to spiral in the wrong direction amongst our people. I will say, after so long, and after reaching that 30 to 40-year-old range, single women, they seem to realign their standards and priorities, from, the old school song, girls just want to have fun, which is still true to this day once they're in their biological prime, to where that biological clock is ticking for them. And with time passing us all every second, more women are looking at a winner in a person like Kevin, telling other women how to do the same thing in their own regard. And as time passes, with or without Kevin Samuels, time and experience is going to show everybody the fact that, honestly, the feminist thought processes, really, they're nothing more than a failing strategy toward the fulfillment of that bond, that relationship, that marriage, that connectedness that you're looking for. So with that said, ID, where does the Kevin Samuels effect go from here?
I think the sky's the limit with Kevin. I think he, in my opinion, if I was in his ear, I would definitely tell him, hey, connect with some mental health organizations or people. So that way when he does, because he interviews a range of women, or a different array of women every night. and some of them have really serious issues. So to me, connected with somebody or a group that can help with mental issues, with therapy, because he's an image consultant, yes, but now you're getting into the realm of mental issues, pain, depression, and let's be honest, men are tired. Black men specifically are tired. We don't want to be the stepfather to Pookie and Ray Ray's kids. When I've been busting my butt, we're tired of it.
Yeah.
We're just tired of it. So, but you can't talk about it. And so a lot of times we can't have open dialect because even in the church, they don't speak about it anymore. Or at least the black church, they don't. We can't speak about it at work. Most men are separated because we work so much or we have our families or whatever already. So his platform gives men an opportunity to voice their opinions vicariously through him or on their chat. If you never saw his videos, I encourage you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 Eastern to go check it out and make look for yourself and check it out. But like I said, at the end of the day, men love Kevin. And Kevin's the first person I've seen that doesn't make his money off of women or outside culture. If you go on his chat, you'll see men dropping $6,000 or more every time he goes live. So they're putting their money where their mouth is at and where their concerns are. And so I wouldn't even consider Kevin the manosphere. Kevin is just Kevin. And to me, I see him turning this into a brand. And also, like I said, it's bigger than him now. So I even see people who are his naysayers having to switch up their messaging because let's be honest. There's money involved with keeping people, especially black women, delusional.
Yes, it is.
If you don't believe me, go and look at the TV shows that are made just for black women. There are no good depictions of black men. I just saw the Wendy Williams movie, and the whole movie was basically about how her husband was horrible and never helped her, would do anything, which that's not true all the way. So anything you're seeing now, the Salt and Pepper movie or anything else that's going on, is directed towards women, black women per se, and it's basically to push a narrative of do not get with your counter, which is your black male. So you cannot pair bond. And that's a problem because we cannot do anything. We cannot have any paranomics if our women are not on code. And like I said, my thing is throwing that back to you. What are your opinions on where you see Kevin going in the next year? Where do you see this going at the end of the day? Where do you see this Kevin Samuels effect going? And do you think it will benefit black women in the long run?
Regarding the overall narrative that he conveys to his audience and newcomers, same deal, just upwards. For black women, the message works if you're willing to be open to it and to apply what's being said. Yes, it can work. Will it work? Well, again, just like with anything and anybody in most any situation, you have to, again, one, be open to the information. And when I say that, you can't always gear your conversations toward having the last word. Sometimes just say, yeah, okay, in some shape, form, or fashion. Okay, I understand. Yes, I get it. Some variation of that, as opposed to trying to be combative. And then, apply and intensify. Yeah, it can work for you. Yes, you can be married. Yes, you can be in a successful relationship. Will you? That's another question. And that's up to you as the individual in the mirror that's something that you're going to have to confront. There's really an ongoing shift of people that typically watch your Steve the Simp Harveys, Derek the Beta Jacksons, and, other, jokers of that like.
Yes.
But there's going to be a gradual transition toward the spaces and content creators of men that embrace and communicate the importance of manhood, the feminine woman, as opposed to the feminist, and really just embrace traditional values that embrace like that nuclear family dynamic, or just that couple, that relationship / power dynamic that is going to be a solid and foundational one. So really, folks, there is an awakening that's happening. So there's results that the messaging that Kevin Samuels is putting out, and that there's couples that are engaged after, listening to his message, or couples that are already married, but those marriages are now saved as opposed to going down the opposite direction. So again, results matter. And regardless of whether we like them or otherwise, or whether you like them or otherwise, what do the results say? So keep your eyes peeled for more of what this brother has in store for his platform. If you haven't really done so already, go ahead and check out Kevin's YouTube page, as my brother ID said, labeled Kevin Samuels. He has a slew of videos on his channel. You can also check him out on IG, and even watch his interviews on other YouTube platforms such as Fresh and Fit, The Roommates, The Jumper, and so forth. So really from there, judge for yourself what you will about the man. And also let us know what you think about his rhetoric and messaging in connection to Black society. In the meantime, let us know your thoughts regarding his messaging, once again, toward relationship dynamics and modern women in the society moving forward. Also, check us out on Patreon here shortly, where we're going to host our more exclusive videos and topics discussed. With that said, we definitely want to thank you all for joining us on this program of the Cultur Report. And until next time, meeting adjourned.